Okay, this is part 2. Has anybody ever heard don't walk behind a horse because they may kick you? Okay, well here's the reason why. Because horses have their eyes on the side of their head, that allows them to see all the way around them until it gets right to their tail. Right behind their tail is a blind spot. They can't see behind their tail. So if you come up behind a horse, you're coming into their blind spot, and the second they catch sight of you, they may kick out. You can go, whoa, whoa, what was that? Boom, kick out. And they're not being mean or ugly. It's just you've just scared the heck out of them, okay? So here's a good rule of thumb. Missy's trained. She's not going to kick you when you go behind her, but just out of respect for the fact that that's her blind spot, when you walk around behind her, you put your hand on her rump and you just say, hey Missy, I'm coming around behind you, and she's totally cool with that. But if you're out today and there's horses out, if you walk behind them, give them a good 10 feet when you walk around behind them, because you don't know that horse and you just always want to be safe. Never ever run up behind a horse because you're running into their blind spot. They have another blind spot, and that is they can't see anything for about 2 feet in front of their face. And I'll show you how this works. Because their eyes are on the side of their head, this is a blind spot in front of them. So everybody put your fists between your eyes. Now put your hand really close. See how you can't see your hand? Now move that hand out, and now you can see it. So that's how horses see the world. She sees everything going on the right with her right eye. She sees everything going on the left with her left eye. And then from about 2 feet out, she sees everything going on out in front of her. So when you're walking around today and petting horses, if you go like this in front of their face to pet them, there's a high possibility that they'll jerk their head back, they'll turn, and they'll look at you with one eye. So they're not turning away from you, they're just turning so they can see you. She's used to me petting her right here, and so she's not jerking her head, but a lot of horses will jerk their head back and turn to look at you. Any questions about horses? I know I've filled your brains with a whole lot of information. Another thing about when you're petting horses today, do not put your hand right below their mouth. And I'll tell you why. Remember, I said they can't see anything right here. So if you put your hand below their mouth, they're going to assume that you're feeding them a carrot, okay? Or anything. They're going to assume you're feeding them. And so to be safe, you don't want to get your hand bitten. So don't put your hand below their mouth. You can pet them on the nose. Do not pet them up here by the eyes, because if they jerk their head, you might poke them in the eye, and you don't want to do that. Horses have the biggest eyes of all land mammals except for the elephant, and their eyes are very sensitive. So don't pet them up near their eyes. Pet them on their nose, pet them on their cheek or their neck, shoulder, but don't pet them near their eyes. Here's some any questions about horses? Okay, here are some rules that we have. Everybody's going to get a chance to ride. You don't have to stand in line and wait for your turn to ride. You can go pet horses, look at horses while you're waiting to ride. But you can't play on the haystacks, you can't play on the tractor, and you can't play on the golf cart. We have a faucet by the end of the barn, and that has city water in it, and so if you want to take a drink out of that, that's fine. If you want to wash your hands in there, that's fine too. Don't touch any other faucet on the property, because we have a very intricate watering system here. If you mess with any other faucet on the property, you're liable to cut a horse's water off, and without water, a horse will die. Our porta potty is right behind the barn, and you're welcome to have a great day out in the country today. See how many different horses you can find. Oh, and one thing I will add, everybody always asks me this, so let me go ahead and address it. When you're walking around, you'll see horses that have what appear to be blindfolds on. These are not blindfolds, they're called fly masks. And the horse can see through it. It's like a screen, and it keeps the flies out of their eyes. There's one species of fly, and it's their whole job in life is to come and bite the horse in the corner of the eye until stuff drips out. and then the fly eats that. It's kind of gross. And some horses are more sensitive to that than others. And so if they have the fly mask on, that's to keep the flies out of their eyes. Also, horses can sunburn, and so some of these fly masks will be long to prevent their nose from getting sunburned. So, do you have any questions for me about horses? Okay, well, enjoy your day at Spicewood Farms, and I hope you've learned a lot about horses today.